The reason you're not getting promoted at work is because you're doing it the wrong way. What you're doing is you're doing what everyone told you to do. You're playing by the rules. You're playing the game that is the traditional game of how we get promoted at work, of how we grow in our careers. And you've been listening to everybody tell you exactly what you need to do, and you've been doing those things. You've been going the traditional route. And why do people tell you to go the traditional route? The traditional route, which is not the best route and the fastest, the best, most sure way for you to get a promotion. Why do people tell you to go that route? Well, it could be that it's the only route they know, that it worked for them back in the day. It was the route that they took. So it might just be that they don't know. Or they might not be telling you the better route to get there because they feel like, well, they took the long way, they took the hard way, they took the traditional route to get promoted, and so why shouldn't you have to do that too? You never know. It may be that people feel like it's not fair that I tell them the faster way, and so they tell you the slower way. What is the slower way? The way that people will traditionally tell you that you need to take in order to get promoted at work. Let's look at the three pieces of the traditional route. First, the biggest thing that people tell you to do when you want to get promoted, which is absolutely wrong, is to get more experience. Get more experience. Everybody you talk to says get more experience. You need more time in the role. You need to do certain things. You need to learn certain skills, and then you need to demonstrate those skills over and over and over and over. These technical skills, you need to be able to demonstrate that proficiency in the role, and they need to see a track record, et cetera, et cetera. And it sounds very reasonable, doesn't it? Well, we all know that there are people who are getting promoted who don't necessarily have all the right experience. And so why is it that they're getting promoted and not you? And the fact is that in the old days, experience was the route. That is an old route to getting promoted, is to just be in the role and then to expect that after a certain amount of time and a certain amount of experience that you're going to get promoted. And that is not necessarily the case. It's like the rules got shuffled together in a pile and somebody threw it up in the air and they all got mixed up. And so things that you wouldn't expect are actually the better way to get promoted. And so this idea of sticking with experience and that, okay, I'm just gonna get that experience and I'm going to learn that set of technical skills. It's always good to learn new skills. Absolutely. Keep learning those skills. But then to say I'm just going to dig in and I'm just going to keep the experience, the experience, the experience and believe that that's going to turn into a promotion is a recipe for never getting a promotion. Second, one of the biggest things that we are told when we want to get promoted at work is you have to pay your dues. When I was coming up earlier in my career, I remember colleagues who were older than me, who had been in the career longer than me, talking about you have to pay your dues, you have to pay your dues. And I just bought it hook, line, and sinker. And the fact is, there are people getting promoted who have not, quote, paid their dues. And so if you buy that line that it is still that way, that you have to pay your dues, you just have to basically wait, that a promotion is a time game, then you're going the wrong direction. So not only is it not about, oh, you have to have this experience, it's that, okay, I have to spend this much time, meaning I have to pay my dues. And then once I pay my dues, they're going to say, good for you, check mark, and they're going to give me a promotion. And it does not work that way. It may have worked that way in the past, but it does not work that way now. I have managers telling me that they have people coming to them disappointed that they're not getting promotions because I paid my dues. I came from this other company and they had this time. You're in the role of 2 years, you're in the role 3 years, you automatically get a promotion. So they just assumed that they would. And mostly it does not work that way these days. And so just saying I'm going to dig in and I'm going to pay my dues and I know it's going to happen, don't believe it. Third, one of the biggest mistakes I see people make when they want to get promoted at work is they just double down on their resume and they double down on their interviewing skills. And that is such an error. Now, I don't mean it's an error in that you shouldn't do those things. Those are important things. They're just not important yet. And they don't nearly have the weight of what really is important, like things like establishing a promotable reputation and growing the relationships that you're going to need to help you get to the next level, and demonstrating that you're a leader. Even if you have a leadership role, a lot of people don't demonstrate the right kind of leadership. So demonstrating that leadership, whatever your current role is, and demonstrating that you're a person of influence. There's so many things that people look for when they are promoting somebody, and polishing up their resume so it's perfect and polishing up their interviewing skills, that's not the main thing. If you're waiting for your resume and for your interview to get you promoted, then you're waiting way too long, because somebody else has already gotten promoted before you while you were polishing those up. So you want to be doubling down on a whole different set of things rather than relying on your resume, relying on your interviewing skills. And this is such a big deal because I talk to a lot of people about what are your expectations about what is going to get you promoted at work. And what I hear again and again is, oh, well, I hired someone to help me with my resume, or hired someone to help me with my interviewing skills. And again, that is excellent. And I work on those with my clients. But it's way too late if you're waiting for, okay, I hope that my resume is going to come to the top of the stack. Because if you want to get promoted in your own company, there's a whole host of things that you need to do to stack the deck in your favor before there's ever a promotion that's posted, before there's ever a call for resumes, before they're even opening up the interviews. And what if they're not even opening up a promotion? What if there is no promotion on the horizon? That's another case for there's a whole host of skills that you want to be employing so that you can maybe create a promotion, inspire them to create a promotion and create that promotion for you. Things like those relationships, things like your influence. So drop the resume, drop the focus on your interviewing skills, and go to town on some of these other things that are much more important and much more likely to get you that promotion. So if you're believing what everybody tells you, you've got to do this to get promoted, you got to do that, you got to double down on your expertise, and you got to just make sure you are absolutely the very best, and then have more and more and more and more and more experience doing that. Please be a person of excellence, but if all you're doing is doubling down on your expertise and then that experience, you're going the wrong route. And if you're believing what they say about, oh, you just got to pay your dues, just pay your dues, it's a time game, it's going to ultimately happen, you're going the wrong route. And if you're spending all of your time and your effort on polishing up that resume and polishing up those interviewing skills, if you are looking for a promotion at your own company, then you're going the wrong route, because you want to be focusing more on the reputation. Do people even see you as promotable? And do the right people see you as promotable? And do they see you as someone who is potentially someone that maybe is currently in a leadership role, whether you are or not, but do they see you really leading and really driving this organization forward? They need to see that before you have a prayer of even having your resume considered, or getting a chance to have an interview so you can exhibit those polished interview skills.